The story begins with a man who seemed to be in a hurry. He entered a store to buy some items while also looking for a particular place he wanted to go. Showing a map to the store owner, he asked about a location known as Devil's Den. The store owner gave him directions but warned him against going there, mentioning that anyone who goes there never returns. Just then, the man's photo appeared on the news, identifying him as a wanted criminal. The police were searching for him everywhere, as he was involved in numerous crimes. The store owner was shocked to see this, but before he could react, the criminal shot him and escaped, heading toward Devil's Den. The store owner's warning was due to a rumor about Devil's Den. A terrifying monster was said to live there, known for eating flesh. No human who ventured there had ever been spared. As the criminal approached Devil's Den, his car tire suddenly got punctured. Getting out to check, he saw a thorn lodged in the tire, which he removed and kept with him before fixing the tire and moving forward. A short distance later, he spotted an abandoned house. Curious, he went inside and found a room filled with paintings, a bed, and various other belongings, as if someone had been living there. He wondered who would dare live in such a dangerous place, but brushed the thought aside. Deciding to rest, he sat down. Suddenly, he heard footsteps approaching. Instantly alert, he stood up and noticed someone on the other side of the wall through a hole. When he tried to peek through, an axe came swinging toward him. Startled, he fired all his bullets at the figure behind the wall, but it didn't stop as the axe was still swinging. Panicked, he tried to escape but stepped on a nail trap, driving it deep into his foot. It was clear that someone had set these traps deliberately to catch intruders. Wincing in pain, the criminal. He couldn't run far before he noticed that the mysterious figure with the axe was chasing him, so he quickly hid behind a tree, hoping to evade the killer. But somehow, the killer climbed up the tree and launched a surprise attack from above, driving the axe into his skull, ending his life instantly. As the killer came into view, it became clear that it wasn't a man but a girl. She had her face covered, concealing her severely disfigured appearance. Dragging his body back to her house, she tore into his flesh and began eating. She reset the thorn trap, ensuring that the next person who arrived would be caught, just like her previous victims. In reality, this girl was the rumored monster girl who devoured human flesh. Afterwards, she rummaged through the criminal's car and found a young boy. She intended to eat him too, but stopped when she noticed that he had no eyes. The boy, named Alex, was calling out for the criminal. Meena, the girl, didn't reveal that she had eaten him, but instead told the boy that he had left and would be back soon. Feeling pity for Alex, she offered him dry clothes as his were soaking wet. The next morning, a police officer arrived at Devil's Den searching for the criminal. Noticing the criminal's car, he approached and found Alex, who was blind. Alex, who had been kidnapped and tortured by the criminal, suffered severe abuse, including having his eyes removed. When the officer asked Alex about the criminal, he pointed inside, unaware that the criminal was dead and that Meena had lied to him. As soon as the officer entered, Meena, the monster girl, attacked him, clawing out his eyes and viciously biting into his throat until he succumbed to his injuries. However, just before his death, he managed to call for backup. Now furious, Meena ran toward Alex with the intent to kill him too. She finally reveals to Alex that the criminal is dead and admits that she was the one who killed him. However, Alex doesn't believe her. Meena, holding an axe, is just about to strike Alex, but she stops when she sees how terrified he is. Alex pleads, saying he wants to call a certain number, as the person on the other end could come to rescue him. He explains that if the criminal really is dead, he's in even more danger because two of the criminal's friends are probably on their way to kill him. Alex reassures Meena, convincing her that he's telling the truth. She begins to trust him and decides to help him. She tells him about a dark curse that haunts Devil's Den, where a monster with sharp teeth lurks, devouring human flesh. This monster can tear through anything with ease, and her face is horrifically disfigured. What Alex doesn't realize is that Meena is talking about herself. Suddenly, police dogs arrive with a search team. Meena and Alex quickly hide in a nearby cave. When one of the dogs approaches, Meena reveals her monstrous face, scaring the dog away. The two decide to spend the night in the cave, where they share stories. Alex confides that he once had perfect eyesight until the criminal kidnapped him, tortured him, and burned out his eyes. In return, Meena tells Alex a bit about her own past, and they both eventually fall asleep. That night, Meena has a disturbing dream that reveals her own traumatic history. After her father's death, her mother had taken up with a man who was cruel and abusive. He was a monster in human form, often mistreating Meena. One day, when he tried to force himself on her, Meena fought back, enraging him. In his fury, he attacked her with a sharp tool, striking her face multiple times until it was horribly disfigured. Badly wounded, he then buried her alive. Just as this memory surfaces in her dream, Meena awakens abruptly, gasping for air. She steps outside to fetch food for Alex, only to spot 3 men nearby. Meena spots 3 men in the forest from her hiding place in a tree and overhears their conversation. She notices that one of them has a phone. The men are there to find the criminal and Alex, hoping to turn them into the police and claim the reward offered for capturing them. In fact, people from all around were searching for them, drawn by the bounty. After learning this, Meena decides to leave Alex in the forest with these men, thinking they might help him return to his family. The men spot Alex and ask him to come along with them. However, Alex refuses, shouting Meena's name. Hearing this, one of the men recalls a girl named Meena who had reportedly fled to Devil's Den a few years back. Realizing that Meena is the monster girl he's heard about, Alex is taken aback. Just then, Meena suddenly appears and attacks, slashing one man's neck with an axe, killing him instantly. She fiercely fights with the second man, suffering injuries herself, but ultimately manages to kill him too. The third man tries to escape and starts taking photos of her as he runs. Meena chases after him, but a car suddenly hits the man, ending his life. Meena seizes the phone he was carrying and takes it to Alex. She hands Alex the phone and says, "Here, call that number you wanted so you can go home." Alex dials the number but ends the call before anyone picks up, as he no longer wants to leave. He feels a growing attachment to Meena, and they begin to understand each other, having both endured difficult times. Meena takes Alex to a house where he can get something to eat. Inside, they encounter an old woman who points a gun at Meena. But before she can act, Alex sneaks up behind her and stabs her, killing her. It turns out this house belonged to a couple who had gone out to search for Alex and the criminal to claim the reward, leaving their elderly mother behind. Alex, in his desperation, has now killed her. Meena gives Alex a bowl of soup to drink. As they grow closer, Meena begins to notice changes within herself. For the first time, she feels emotions, and even her scarred face appears to be healing. She attempts to drink the soup herself, but she finds she can't stomach it. She's used to eating flesh. Deciding to call the same number Alex had dialed earlier, Meena reaches out to his mother. Alex's mother, devastated by his disappearance, is crying on the other end. Meena, realizing this would only hurt Alex, ends the call without telling him about it. That night, she has another dream revealing more of her past. She recalls waking up to find herself buried alive, but somehow, she had developed strange powers that helped her escape. Driven by anger, she returned home and killed her mother, whom she blamed for her suffering. After that, she sought out and killed her mother's friend, who had wronged her. And in doing so, Meena became the monster she is now. Meena wakes up and sees that people have captured Alex and are taking him away in a vehicle. Determined to help him, she clings to the car, using her strength to cause it to crash. The car flips, leaving the occupants injured but alive. The woman in the car dials the police for help. Despite this, Meena doesn't harm her, as she feels a newfound sense of compassion. Alex, frightened, begins to cry out for his mother, just like a child would in distress. Seeing this, Meena reassures him, saying, "Calm down, I'm here. As long as I'm with you, no one can hurt you. Even if you leave, I'll ensure you're safe." With these words, she leaves Alex, knowing the police are on their way. Shortly after, the police arrive and take Alex away. As they drive off, he yells Meena's name. The next morning, Meena returns to the abandoned house to gather her belongings. She has decided to leave, hoping to live a normal life once again. Meena had now completely transformed. She had started eating fruits and vegetables for Alex's sake, and had given up eating meat. She even left behind her axe in the house, the same one she had once used to attack people. This shows us that she had truly changed. Where she was once a monster, she had now become a kind-hearted girl. After meeting Alex, she had found love, and her violent past felt distant. When she reached the road, a woman noticed her and stopped her car, offering Meena a lift. As Meena sat in the car, we can see her face fully healed, symbolizing that the monster within her was gone. She had come to realize that not all people were the same and that innocent lives should not be harmed. She had already taken her revenge on those who wronged her, and with that chapter closed, she no longer needed to hurt anyone. And with this realization, the story comes to an end.